today we're going to look at the Joomla 3 administration control panel, which has changed considerably from earlier versions of Joomla. And for those who've been using Joomla in versions 2.5 or 1.5, this is a big step forward in usability, both because of the layout and also because the admin panel is now designed to be suitable for all devices. So you can actually administer your website from a tablet, mobile phone, or any size computer screen. So here's the login screen. It's the same way to get to login. That's your URL and administrator up here. You put in your username, password, and log in. And here we are in the new administration panel, and as you can see, we no longer have the scattered icons across the front and bits and pieces around. It's very easy to follow layout. Firstly, we have our dashboard here that shows you who's logged in, what are the most popular articles that are being looked at by your visitors, most recently visited ones. And over here we have a menu which is structured with the most commonly used items first. So we have add new article at the very top, article manager, so that's managing existing articles, managing the categories under which you store your articles, media manager, which is uploading images, managing your menus, and new users. So and then the rest of them are more to do with building the site. So these are the ones that you use the most, except for two down the bottom. And for users of Joomla 2.5, you'll be familiar with the automatic update features, but otherwise this may be new to you. Firstly, we see here it tells us that Joomla is up to date, so we don't need to do anything, but we have one extension. You see the one in the red button there that has an update available. Once upon a time we used to have to go download the files to our local computer, upload them to the site, and then install them. Now Joomla does it all for us. So all we have to do when there's an update is click on this link, brings us into the screen listing the updates, and hits this is one to do with Akiba, so I'm just going to tick that and then tick the update button, and the update will happen automatically. Once the update's completed, it comes up and tells me no more updates are available, so we can go back to our control panel. Now actually I'm just going to jump back to that page because there is a change here that is important. If you've used Joomla before, any of the earlier versions, you'll remember that in most pages your icons, the save, delete, and so on buttons would be on your right hand top corner over here. You'll notice they're on the left hand side now, and that's not just aesthetics. There's a reason for that. As I mentioned before, the administration area is now designed to allow you to manage your site from any type of device. That's called a responsive template. It's built on a thing called Bootstrap. I'm just going to show you with this browser what that means. So if you were accessing this site from your mobile phone, it would look like this. From a tablet, might look something like that. And as you see, as the screen expands, the layout changes, and that's why most important things tend to be on the left, because we don't have to move them around so much as the screens change. But you will see that menus do change. You'll see it jumps from a horizontal menu down to vertical menus and a mobile phone style drop down menu at the top there. So as you can see, that's why we don't have icons all over our Joomla backend anymore. It makes things a lot easier for updating. So here we are back at the control panel, and as I mentioned before, the most commonly used items are in this menu down here. We also have the menu items across the top. This is where you go to your components and extensions and so on, as you would be used to, and more detailed items within the content menu. You'll notice in this particular site I've installed an additional extension called Admin Menu Manager, and that's allowed me to add extra menu items for the major components that are installed here. So I've got a Hiker Shop menu item added, and that's our shopping cart, and I've got Akiba backups installed, and this puts that up on the front page where we can go in and run our backups. And that's important to just to keep those things where they're easy to use, because if you have users who are not comfortable with computers, it's often a bit daunting to search through these menus to try and find the items you want to work with. So that's another big step forward with the new version of Joomla. The next area I want to look at is the most commonly used area, and that is adding a new article. So if we click on our menu item, this will bring up quite a different screen to what you're used to if you've used earlier versions of Joomla. One of the problems that we used to have was there was so much information jammed onto the right hand side of the page that the edit screen in Joomla 2.5 was quite cramped and small. As you can see, we've got a nice big edit area here for adding the content for our article, and that other data has now been moved to tabs across here. So we've got a nice clean layout here, and some additional functionality down here for linking articles and so on. But so here's our editor controls, our edit area. With the same buttons down here, we can add articles, images, and so on. In this case, we have Hiker Shop installed, so we have a product button. You can put links to products within the shopping cart here as well. Read more buttons and so on. As we go up the top here, we've got our publishing options, and that is when you want it published, who you want to be listed as the author if you're going to list authors. Our article options, these are all much the same as in previous versions, just a nice cleaner layout there. We can configure the edit screen, put in our metadata, and control permissions, but these are all hidden away in tabs away from the main page, so because this is the main area where you're going to be working. So your defaults are things that probably won't be changed very often, so these tabs don't need to be visited, and that's why it's no longer been considered necessary to keep that information on the front page. We're now going to have a look at the article manager. That's where you manage existing articles, and again this is now a new, much cleaner screen than the older versions of Joomla. And here we have a list of articles. We've only got 3 in this site, but obviously most sites will have much more than that. So you can choose up here what you want to sort them by in your list. You can put in filters here, selecting by the status of the article, selecting by category. We don't have any categories set up on this site at the moment, and access levels and so on. So much cleaner look. You can simply click on the article to go in and edit it. You have various functions there at just with a drop down list, so you can unpublish, remove it from being featured, put the article in the trash, and so on. So again, much cleaner, easier to use screen than in the older versions of Joomla. The final area I want to touch on just briefly is the module manager. This is an area that has changed extensively again. Again, it is a much cleaner look. Firstly, we see here we've got a list of all of the extensions, the modules installed on this particular site. One that I use a lot is the custom HTML module. So I'm just going to have a look in there and show you what that now looks like. I'll just click on here. This particular module is simply the one that displays the logo on my template. Nothing special about it. We go in here, we just see on the, again, we've got the various actions listed in different tabs, keeping the screen nice and clean, which of course is very important if you're looking at this on a small screen. So we just give it a name, whether the title is to be shown or hidden. Red is off, green is on. What position it's going to be shown in the website, and in our drop down list of positions you'll actually see we have positions are categorized by template. So if you have more than one template installed, you can go down to the template you're using and find the positions that are related to that template, which is a cleaner process than we often had in the past. Status, whether it's published or not, access levels and so on are on the front. We then go to our options. We can add a background to this particular module. Custom output in this case is the editor. It's different with different modules. This one is the again an editor which gives us lots of room here. We can expand that, drag that down, lots of room to prepare the content that we want displayed. Has the same buttons as the editor elsewhere, and then menu assignment, so we decide where it's going to show. So you can see that's a much cleaner layout than we had before, but it is a little bit different and takes a bit of getting used to the first few times you use it. So that's it for our overview of the Joomla administration panel. And from here to log out, we simply go up and it'll show the name that you're logged in as. Click on that and log out. So I would encourage you play around with the admin area in your website, get used to it, because it is a very powerful tool for you to get the best from your website.